Hey everyone, this is a quick security bite with the Threat Lab, and I am Corey Nachreiner. And today I want to quickly update you on a outage that happened to many global companies around the world related to a CrowdStrike product on Friday, July 19th. This outage has been making headlines everywhere. It's affected airports, banks, cruise lines, healthcare, many organizations, specifically ones that use a cybersecurity endpoint product from CrowdStrike called Falcon Strike. Before we dive into this, because this outage is getting a lot of news, or that this issue is getting a lot of news, and other Microsoft Azure related outages, which may not have to do with CrowdStrike, are also getting news, we're getting a lot of inquiries of if WatchGuard is somehow affected, especially if we use Azure. First of all, if you're a WatchGuard customer of APDR or any of our products, you're not affected by this. And even though we do use Azure in some of our product infrastructure, that is all up and running and you're not affected by this. So, what did happen? Well, a number of enterprise companies seem to use a product from CrowdStrike called Falcon Strike. And this is essentially an endpoint security product, very similar to our own WatchGuard EPDR, which is endpoint protection, detection, and response. CrowdStrike has a similar product that does endpoint protection and endpoint detection and response. Early this morning, people using this product across all their endpoints across their organization suddenly got blue screens of death. And this wasn't an easily recovery blue screen of death. If you don't know what a blue screen of death is, it's a Windows message when your operating system has a failure and it cannot work anymore. This was a looping blue screen of death, meaning every time you rebooted your computer, it would continue to stay in this state. At the same time, by the way, an unrelated Microsoft Azure and M365 outage happened that Microsoft cleared up very quickly. But because many, many Windows computers were having this blue screen of death, the affected organizations didn't know if it was related to a Microsoft outage, if it was a cyber attack, or what it was. As it turns out, it was a bug in an update delivered by CrowdStrike. Endpoint products, cybersecurity endpoint products especially, often have very deep level access into the Windows operating system and or Mac or Linux operating system. It needs this access to be able to do some of the advanced protections it does. But that also means that a mistake in some of this endpoint security software could affect the operating system so much to crash it with this blue screen of death. And that's exactly what happened. CrowdStrike delivered what they called a single content update to all of their devices, an automated update that happens that caused all those computers to blue screen of death. In order to recover them, you actually have to boot in some sort of Windows safe mode or Windows recovery mode and do some steps that CrowdStrike has outlined before you can get the latest update to fix this problem. Unfortunately, this caused everything from kiosks and screens at airports from working. The FAA decided to down flights for a period of time while they were trying to figure out what happened. Banks were affected, healthcare organizations were affected, and if you were affected by this, essentially any endpoint that had this product on it was down until you learned how to fix it. So we apologize to all the customers and partners out there who may use CrowdStrike who probably had a rough day today. Our hearts go out to you. We hope you figured out a way to recover this. The good news is CrowdStrike has released a lot of information about this. It turns out they know exactly what protection they added that caused this bug, and they have clear instructions on how to fix it. Hopefully, in the future, CrowdStrike will also improve their quality assurance processes to try to avoid these kind of bugs from reaching the public. I will say one of the things I'm very proud about WatchGuard and our endpoint product is our quality assurance process. We, of course, have the same type of internal quality assurance tests like regression tests and things like that that most software companies do. But on top of that, we have a multi phased beta approach. One of the groups of our beta, before it even is launched to customers, is something we call a friend and family beta. So we first try new updates with literally our own employees or employees' friends, or even partners who have become close to us and have requested to be part of friends and family. By doing that, we have a further opportunity to catch other issues with our updates that may not have been caught in our earlier QA processes. The other thing I'm proud of is for endpoint products specifically, which go out to millions and millions of devices out there, we have what we call rolling phased updates. Even when we're ready to release it publicly, we do so in stages with small groups instead of all at once, which also gives us further opportunity to monitor for any issues. I'm sure CrowdStrike actually has good quality assurance processes, and I bet you they're going to pay attention to whatever tests they lack to catch this particular bug. But it's definitely something to think about in the future as you continue to buy software that's critical from other partners out there. In any case, I hope this helped. The key takeaway is all of these outages were caused by that CrowdStrike update. If you do not use CrowdStrike software, you should not be affected by that CrowdStrike blue screen of death unless you use a vendor that might have CrowdStrike in their own cloud platform. The Azure outages that happened around the same time seem to be unrelated to the CrowdStrike update, but may have affected you as well. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.